Welcome to another video of Performance with Project. You'll probably agree that project schedules and Gantt charts aren't the most pleasing to the eye. For example, many managers will probably shun at the idea of having to go through a project schedule, and you're not likely to see a Gantt chart end up in a gallery somewhere. But the beauty with Microsoft Project is that you can apply little tweaks to your Gantt chart schedules to give them a bit of a lift, and there are also avenues in which you can display key pieces of information to the right audience. So in this video we're going to look at how you can use bar styles to get in there and improve the aesthetics of your project schedule. We'll look at how the calendar view can also help in transmitting or detailing key tasks to your project audience. Look at also how outlines and filters can be used to highlight key pieces of information out of your schedule to the right person at the right time. So let's get into it. So you can see in this particular example, we're continuing on with the project that we've been working on in the past videos as part of Performance with Project. Now you can see there's a fair bit of information on this Gantt chart here. There's, after applying all of the resources to the particular tasks, you could see that project, more often than not, will by default include resource names on the Gantt chart view. Now some of us might feel this is probably a little bit overboard, and we might want to tidy up the Gantt chart view. So how do we do this? Well, go to your Gantt chart format ribbon, and you can see here under format or format bar styles, you can select the option bar styles, and you'll be presented with a dialog box which is really the heartbeat of the whole system. All the aesthetics that are used on the Gantt chart are adjusted and can be adjusted in this bar style dialog box area. So what we want to do is look at our task, and you can see we can change the bar styles like so, colors, etc. But also look at the default text, and you can see, surprise, surprise, on the right hand side of our bars is the default resource name. Now you can simply select that, and probably the best way to get rid of it will be to hit the delete button, and that will be removed. And then if you click OK, and all you see there is your bars, your milestones. The milestone dates are still there, and we can remove those, but in this particular case we'll leave them. But more importantly, the resource names have been removed from the Gantt chart view. So that's a nice way to tidy things up. Now you can see while you're in your Gantt chart format ribbon, there are little things that you can do to make adjustments to the overall color palette of the project schedule here. Now we'll go back to blue, but what if you want to make adjustments to a particular task? And as we probably have covered in previous videos, you can differentiate tasks that are on the critical path by clicking critical tasks. And upon clicking critical tasks, you can see that it turns into that light red color. Now what if we want to change that? Well, once again, we go into the format, bar styles, wait for the dialog box to appear, here it is, and then we simply scroll down and look for where the critical tasks are. We can see that. We select that particular item, and then we can make an adjustment to whatever we would like to do. I might make it more of an orange color. If we do that, click OK, you can see tasks on the critical path now change to orange. But what if a particular task has a special condition? So for example, the task might be considered a risky task. What could we do? Well, we could first of all differentiate and highlight that task through a special condition. Now a quick and easy way to do that is using a new column and adopting a new flag. So we scroll down and we'll adopt flag 1 as our new special condition for a risky task. Now we can rename this. It still has the same attributes as flag 1, but if we right click and then go field settings, we can keep the field name as flag 1, but the title that'll appear on our schedule can be high risk. So we'll quickly do that. Titled high risk as shown there, and click OK. Now we want the color of the bars of these tasks for high risk to stand out. So how do we do this? So let's go back to our format bar styles settings. So ensuring that we're still on the Gantt chart format ribbon, format bar styles, and then we're going to want to insert a couple of new rows here to satisfy the new conditions that we've set for high risk tasks. So under task here, we'll go insert row, and we'll call this high risk. I'm going to adopt a new color shortly, but we want to effectively copy the attributes of a normal task and then add on our new conditions for flag 1, which is indicative of high risk. So what we'll do is you click on this drop down arrow, you'll notice that all of this becomes highlighted. So click on the drop down arrow, you can click on top of the text there and go Control C, and then go to the row that deals with high risk, and we'll go Control V. And while we're still in edit mode within this cell, type comma and then flag 1 with no space in between the flag and the 1. There we have it. Now we are going to change the color to stand out. So something that's risky, red or bright red comes to mind, so we'll do that. Make sure the all colors are red before and after, and the pattern will try and make it a solid red so it really stands out. And we go OK. Now you'll notice that even though we click yes, nothing changes. But notice what happens when we go to critical tasks and we go yes, it changes. So we just still have a little bit more work to do. We need to also satisfy this condition for critical tasks as well as non-critical tasks. So we go back to our format, bar styles, and then we scroll down and do the same thing for critical tasks. Critical tasks, we insert row, and we might just rename this high risk critical. And then we, as before, copy all of the attributes for a critical task. And then we're going to paste those attributes and add in our condition for high risk, which is flag 1. We have it. Now we can change the pattern to solid fill and change our colors, change it all red so it really stands out. Notice what happens now. It satisfies the high risk component. So you can see this is quite a very useful way in order for us to communicate tasks that have special conditions, and allows us as project managers and also our team members to be aware of tasks that can make or break a project or could cause us grief. So it's a useful tool to add to the toolkit. Now, as we mentioned before, Gantt chart schedules might not be everyone's cup of tea. However, a lot of our work colleagues may be conditioned to and accustomed with Microsoft Outlook. And there is actually a way in which you can convert the visuals of the tasks to something similar to that of an Outlook calendar. And you can do this by clicking on your task ribbon, and then where it says Gantt chart there, click on that and then click on calendar. Now you can see here it resembles a picture similar to a Microsoft Outlook calendar, and you've got the ability here to toggle or zoom in on a month or on a week by week basis. And you notice also too that tasks shaded a certain color, but you can also see here that milestones are also differentiated here by a different color. So once again, this is another nice tool that you can show. It could be something that you might want to project. You can add to a PowerPoint presentation if you have to, or just when you're sitting down with your team leaders or team members and going through goals for a particular month. Or you might even use this for the start of a week to show what's in store, what's been planned for the week ahead. So feel free to use this. It is a nice way to communicate activities for your project for those who are not comfortable with Gantt chart styles. Now, outlines and filters are another tool that can be used in Microsoft Project. We might wonder, well, what first of all are outlines and how can this benefit us? Well, in your ribbon, click on the View ribbon there, and you'll notice here there is an outline. And this helps to filter or differentiate all the various steps in the hierarchy of your schedule. So for example, if we're going to go to level 1, straight away it just goes to the overall project from start to finish. It doesn't really provide a great deal of information. But imagine if you had multiple projects. You could certainly use the outline level 1, and that could just give you a really high level or bird's eye view of the projects you've got within a given program. The next step, or next level down, is level 2. And as you might recall, this looks at or summarizes all of the summary tasks within the particular project. So this gives us a little bit more information, and it could be suitable to senior management to once again provide just the high level steps that are required within a particular project, good for reporting purposes. And then you can simply keep going down until you go to level 3, or if you were, say for example at level 1, you want to jump straight to ensure that you have all subtasks shown, you can simply click on all subtasks and all of the tasks within the project are presented there. So a quick and easy way to present information to those who really are only interested in high level information. Now, the filter function within the View ribbon is also something that can similarly be used to provide targeted information to particular members of your wider project team. So at the moment we've got no filters selected, so simply go and look at the range in which your filter can apply. So say for example you're only interested in milestones. It'll just go straight up and roll up all of the milestones within your project. What is if you wanted to have a one-on-one discussion with a team member? How could you communicate this? Well, in Filter, go down to Using Resource, and then you're presented with a question. Show tasks using, and then you can, for example, go to Joanne, click OK, and all of a sudden you are presented with all of the tasks that have Joanne's name on it. Even if she's working on that with other team members, it will provide a filtered view of everything that that particular resource is involved with. So you can see a very quick and easy way to start to communicate key items. Very easy. You can just pivot to other resources. So we go to John, for example, and the same thing can apply there. So rather than giving away too much, sometimes in project management less is more, and when you have those one-on-one discussions, it's a nice tool to add to the repertoire in utilising your project scheduling in a more meaningful manner. Thank you for listening to Performance with Project. We'd love to hear from you again. Please subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.